The practice of inner hearing in total silence, the forgotten gateway to the unstruck sound, opening transmission. Before there was a breath, before a thought, before even a flicker of light, there was a sound. Not the sound of voice, not the sound of the world, but a resonance behind all things, unstruck, eternal, untouched by movement. This is the inner sound. It is not heard with the ears. It is heard in silence. This is the secret of the practice often called inner hearing, a technique more ancient than mantra, more subtle than breath. In truth, it is not a technique at all. It is a turning inward, a listening without ears, a surrender of the outer senses back into the source of vibration itself. Let us now explore this forgotten pathway into stillness and discover what waits beyond sound. What is inner hearing? Inner hearing is not imagination. It is not daydreaming or guided visualization. It is not pretending to hear something spiritual. It is the direct perception of subtle resonance, a hum, a tone, a vibration that arises from deep within the subtle body and the heart of awareness itself. In ancient teachings, this is often referred to as the unstruck sound, a sound that exists even in the absence of friction, impact, or motion. It is always present, but we are rarely still enough to hear it. This sound arises not from the ear, but from attention itself. It is heard only when all outer listening has ceased. And when you begin to hear it, not as a fantasy, but as a real living current, you are not hearing a sound, you are hearing presence itself. 2. Why is silence the true gateway? Most modern spiritual seekers try to reach stillness through more effort, more mantras, more visualizations, more breath control. But true inner hearing begins only when effort ends. It is not created, it is uncovered. In outer silence, something strange happens. The body begins to slow. The breath softens, the nervous system reorganizes itself, and the subtle inner space begins to open. You begin to hear a soft ringing, a distant hum, sometimes like a tone, sometimes like a high whisper, sometimes just a warm silence that seems to breathe. This is not tinnitus. It is not dysfunction. It is your own attention echoing off the walls of stillness. And when you hear it clearly, a doorway opens, because what you are hearing is the living silence from which all things arise. 3. The stages of inner hearing. The journey through inner sound often unfolds in gentle, recognizable stages. These are not rigid steps, but patterns many advanced practitioners report. Stage 1, the faint ringing, usually high-pitched like a gentle bell far away. It often arises in moments of deep quiet or extended meditation. Stage 2, the tonal whisper, a sense of hearing a tone behind the breath, soft but constant, not in the ear but in the center of your perception. Stage 3, the inner flute or drone, a deeper hum or drone-like sound, sometimes felt in the heart or spine. The body begins to vibrate in harmony with it. Stage 4, the shimmering silence. The sound begins to fade, not into absence, but into a rich, full silence. This is the most advanced stage. You are not hearing anymore. You are being heard by the silence itself. 4. How to practice inner hearing without force. The greatest mistake most seekers make is trying to listen too hard. This is not about effort. It is about relaxation, refinement, and surrender. Here's how to begin. Step 1. Enter outer silence. Turn off all external sound. No music, no movement, no voice. Just sit. Step 2. Turn awareness inward. Let your gaze soften or close your eyes. Let the breath be natural. Feel your whole awareness drawing inward. Step 3. Listen without expectation. Let go of trying. Don't wait for something dramatic. Instead, notice the edges of silence. Notice what is always there when everything else fades. It may sound like a soft ringing, a warm buzz, a hollow hum, or simply a sense of space. Just listen gently, and if nothing comes, listen anyway. The act of listening is the practice. 5. What you are actually hearing. When you begin to perceive the inner sound, something profound is happening. You are not hearing an object. You are hearing the source of perception itself. This sound does not travel. It radiates. It is not there. It is everywhere and nowhere, centered in the heart of awareness. Some traditions say this sound is the vibration of creation itself. Others say it is the residue of consciousness echoing into form. What matters is this: when you hear it, you are no longer separate from the stillness. You have begun to dissolve into the very field from which all sounds, thoughts, and forms emerge. This is the threshold of absorption. And it begins with listening. 6. The dangers of chasing sensory phenomena. One of the subtle traps on this path is becoming addicted to the inner sound. Yes, it is beautiful. Yes, it can lead to profound stillness. Yes, it is real. But remember, the sound is a doorway, not the destination. If you fixate on the tone, if you try to recreate it, if you chase it for spiritual identity or entertainment, you will miss the real treasure. That treasure is the silence behind the sound. Let the sound arise and pass like waves on a shore. Rest in the listening, not the sound. That is where true stillness lives. 7. The merging of listener and sound. At a certain depth, something miraculous happens. The inner sound grows so soft, so deep, that it becomes indistinguishable from your own sense of self. You are no longer listening to the sound. You are listening as the sound. The boundaries dissolve. There is no longer a meditator, a technique, a goal. There is only this pulsing, shimmering presence, and even that word disappears. You are the resonance of the mystery itself. This is not poetry. It is a direct experience known by those who have followed the silence long enough to vanish inside it. Mystical reflection. There is a sound that cannot be heard by ears. There is a silence that rings louder than thunder. There is a listening that does not listen to, but from. Inner hearing is not a method. It is a return to the place before sound and silence, before effort and rest, before the mind remembered who it thought it was. This is not a fantasy. It is the most real thing you will ever encounter, and it is waiting for you, right now, behind your thoughts, beneath your breath, in the quiet that listens while you sleep. If you want to find it, stop searching, stop forcing, just sit and listen. If this sacred teaching helped you taste the stillness that lies beyond sound, if you felt a resonance awaken in your own silence, consider subscribing for more transmissions on awakening, presence, and the subtle body. And if you feel called to support this channel's sacred mission, becoming a member helps keep this living library of timeless guidance alive for others around the world. Next episode, Mudra Seals for Sealing Energy After Awakening. Let us meet where energy no longer escapes, but is lovingly held.